Anyway, so I still haven't completely figured out this EVH delay, the Boss. So I tried it. I couldn't get a sound that I liked. There are so many friggin' settings on this thing. I'm going crazy. So I'm going to try to get that Pete Thorne dude, since he helped come up with it or something, to help me. I go, dude, all I want to run right now, just right now, is stereo with the EVH sound, and then a little, I can tweak it to whatever I want without having to hold down a button, do this 10 times, stick one nose in your finger in your nose, hit this button, and then to go like that real fast. What the hell? I hate stuff like that. I hate it. So I tried plugging in the Wild Audio because I found an adapter, and it sounds like crap. Because guess what? It's a chorus. Not a stereo, just a chorus. Even though it said when I typed in stereo chorus, or Zakk Wylde stereo chorus, because I'm trying to find my old one. The Wild, it was Black Label Society. That thing sounded great. But I keep forgetting I'm missing half of my line of effects, and I only had 5. But man, they made a big difference. Because right now I'm running straight from here to, I'm just splitting the lines straight, not going through any effects, just got a splitter going to the Marshall into line 6. And that's it. You know what I think is wrong? I had a dream about my ex-wife. Not my first wife, just so she knows in case anything can get... Just one, and it was so friggin' weird. And her, whatever, husband, I know she's remarried, and she kept saying, come on, let's get together. Let's go someplace alone. I'm like, you're married. What are you doing? It tripped me out so bad. Because she's like, look he's got a lot of money. I'll give you a lot of money, and then you can have, this with me. And then I'm like, what's happening? One, that's, well, she is she's a gold digger, that's for sure. I mean, she wiped me out of almost $500,000 just in the bank, just with the bank, not counting selling the houses and everything. So, anyways, I woke up in such a friggin' bad mood. It took me like an hour to calm down. And I got this book. I wouldn't recommend it. It's just filled with a bunch of... I think it's a friggin' an AI book. That some guy... what I was going to do. But just so everybody will know... Okay, there's Steve Vai. Ooh, upside down for you. And I'm thinking, please put a good picture of Randy Rhoads. Not that, he can take a bad picture, but, a good one, a cool one. Jakey Lee. Okay, so here's the story. Remember how I always... I used to always say I hated Jakey Lee because when I was 16, I went to see Rat at the Roxy. And it was Rat, Dokken, and... I think White Sister or somebody. Molly Crew wasn't involved in the whole thing, and me and my friend were into the whole, we're like, Hollywood's cool. We're going every time we can find a cool band. So we did. I thought Jakey Lee was in the band. We saw him at the Golden State Motor Hotel playing, and they were doing Ain't Talking About Love. And at the end, hey, hey, hey. Instead of that, they go, rat, rat, rat. That's the only thing I can really remember. other than them being really loud. And come to find, I just found out that they owned no amps. Robin owned one Marshall half stack, and then when they had to play, they'd rent it. So I was wondering why they'd come in and rent equipment from where I used to work at Killeen. Just anything to fill the stage. I didn't even notice. Anyway, so at the show at the Roxy, they had a bunch of rat. They weren't Mickey Rat anymore. They were Rat, and they had a bunch of rat frisbees. And the guy, not Robin Crosby, who was over here, I was standing in front of this guy, and he was dancing around just like Jakey Lee does, that side step and dance and acting like a fool, even though So I go to get the friggin' frisbee, and he stomps on my hand, and I'm like, what the hell? And so I do it again, and he gets, that's it. So every time I went to grab one, he would just act like he was going to stomp. Well, F that. So I'm flipping him off, and he's just laughing. He doesn't care. And he's playing away. He's good. He's really good. Not him, though. It's not him. So I was talking to my friend. He goes, I'm telling him the show. Remember, He goes, yeah. He goes, dude, that wasn't Jake. I go, what? He goes, that was the singer for Bullet Boys. Can't remember his name right now. I'm like, what? Because he used to play for Rat. He's a great guitar player. He's actually a better guitar player than he is a singer. And he's a pretty good singer, or he was. I don't know what he sounds like now. But I always thought it was Jake, so I wanted to kill him for that. Just for that. So when he was working with my friend, I would say stuff like, your tone always sucked. That's why you got thrown out of Ozzy. You get all pissed off and, says he knows karate, and I know karate a little bit. And this is before I got all jacked up. This is like 1998, 99. So he was going to come up and fight me. Or no, we were going to drag race, because I said I also had a car that could beat his. I think he had a Chevelle or something that he was working on. And, he was living pretty comfortable in a pretty nice house. But it was down by LAX. But close to the beach where we wanted to be. But still, you could hear and see airplanes taking off and landing. To me, that's not Rockstar House. Anyways, that's Jake. Because he went on, they were going to go on a 3-month tour. It turned out to be a week and a half tour. And they were going to kill each other. And they made it out of California and 2 states over. And then they had to turn the bus around and come back. And this is all on Jake's friggin', he was paying for everything. The bus. And I remember we were helping him, take his stuff out. And he had seemed like 20 bags of picks, all Aussie. And some Badlands. So I took a bag. And I have them somewhere. I have one in my pick collection. It says Jakey Lee, and on the back it says something about the singer that they kicked out of Badlands, who ended up dying, by the way. So buddy's poking it. So I'm thinking another strike against this guy. But okay, so the main reason why I hated him is I thought he stepped on my hand when I was going to get and he kept trying to do it, and he's being a dick. So I'm like, dick. But it wasn't him. It was that Tomei guy or whatever, the singer for Bullet Boys. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because him and the bass player for the Bullet Boys, they were all happy because they just got signed. And Fatal Attraction, we were, selling out the friggin' whiskey a couple nights around Halloween 1990, I think. And it couldn't have been 91, so it was probably 90. It was 91. But so everybody was coming to see us. The big bands, the bands just got signed. People from record labels are thinking, is there anything left out here? And we were trying to, like, yes, look at, we're different. We don't look like a bunch of friggin' idiots. And we're not trying to, rip our makeup off and, the glam thing was gone. We were vampires. So we thought, that's a totally different thing. And we sounded more Judas Priest than, like, everybody else was sounding. Because everybody was trying, every time a band gets signed and they get big, everybody tries to sound like them. Motley Crue got signed and big, and of course Van Halen, and blah, blah, blah. But mainly Motley Crue. So everybody tries to sound like Motley Crue and look like them. Oh yeah, I tried that for a band, and I'm like, I don't want to be Motley Crue. I want to be my own thing. So that's what I borrowed a little from Shout Out the Devil, because I love that album, but that's it. So, but by this, we had things, we had the whole thing, the graveyard stage, we put a lot of money into this damn thing. And, you don't have to see Jake anymore. But it's not Jake. So, sorry, Jake. All these years I've been mad at you, and it wasn't even you. It was that other idiot. So, him and the bass player, the singer and bass player from Bullet Boys were backstage, and they're like, oh, so you're Scary Rock. I go, no, we're not Scary Rock. He's a smart ass. I go, no, we're vampires. He goes, are you really? I go, yeah, I drink a lot of blood, like an idiot. Because mainly girls. If girls are like, will you buy me in? I'm like, well, it's going to hurt. But one of my teeth, I had them sharpened, really sharp, so if I would get a little blood. Which, if you're thinking about it, 1989, HIVs, flying around everywhere, and I'm sucking blood out of strange girls. George Lynch. This is supposed to be some book, and it just gives you like a couple paragraphs of each person. Adrian Smith. I don't know who that guy is. Matthias Jobs. Martin Knopfler. Yeah, I put him in the book with metal. Eddie Van Halen, just stuck right there in the middle. Stevie Ray Vaughan, never really been a big fan, but Steve Lukather is actually amazing. Fast Eddie Clark. Adrian Smith. Okay, so I'm thinking, please be like, just put a cool, like, something like a diary tour. Something. No, they put that one in. Geez, they don't use this stuff enough. And this is Ozzy, but it's the first, Blizzard, when they just started playing. Because he had only his, Quiet Riot clothes, so the only thing he's missing is his bow tie. Otherwise, he'd be Quiet Riot still. And this is when he chopped his hair off, and that was a bad idea, but he knew that too. So he grew it back out. But it's just like, no, not that one. Even though he's cool, he still looks cool. And he's Randy Rhoads. I haven't read it because I'm sure it's going to say everything I already know. If it says something different, which it won't, I'll tell you. The short but glorious years of the heavy metal music saw the polka dot flying V whirlwind Randy Rhoads change our lives forever. Leading the charge at the head of the heavy metal renaissance, we enter the 1980s. So it goes by R. Okay, so taking some simple styles from Mick Ronson. He did like Mick Ronson, the guy from Bowie, who was actually Mormon. True. It's true fact. He was born into the church. I didn't know that. The outfits, the hair, rocking, and pale Les Paul. Pale? Okay. The firing up and owning Van Halen's two-handed tapping techniques, it was evident even from those early Quiet Riot days that Randy Rhoads, or it says, was destined to be greatness. Wizard of Oz, Diary of a Madman, to compose much of the each perfectly crafted solo, yes, says nothing. So I was listening to interview by the guy who produced Diary, and I remember Randy saying, he was very unhappy with the way Diary of Madman turned out because it wasn't done. He wasn't finished. I'm like, it sounds amazing. He goes, yeah, but I didn't get to double my solos, and I'm like, I never noticed. I never noticed except for the first, how are you going to double the over the mountain, that one part? How are you going to do it? Can't. It's too crazy. Yeah, I guess he probably could have. He probably could have. He would have sat there and done it 100 times until he got it, nailed them both. But, or 4 times, or how he usually did like 3 or 4, I guess. However, I've heard he's done 4 tracks of lead. And I've got, everybody's has heard these, the tracks. Everybody's heard that crap. So, it didn't really occur to me. And then I listened to the album the other day, and I'm like, yeah, it's not, they had to, Max was trying to deal with, like, okay, Randy ain't coming back. They're on tour in America, and they're not coming back. So him and Bob Daisley finished it, and they just thickened up everything. And there is, 2 tracks for the rhythm, but that's it. And the first track was supposed to be just to lay down the bass and the drums, and then he'd come back and he'd do his, but they didn't have time. All thanks to Sharon. Because they had the money, and she could have asked for more money from her dad, because she hadn't screwed him over yet by stealing the masters, because there was no master yet to that. That's what she did, by the way. She stole the masters to Blizzard, Diary, 2 or 3 live albums, or live recordings, and that was it. Boop, she had everything. And, she had all, the videos and everything. And no, I haven't gotten any of the videos from her. I got the videos from the same guy I got the soundboard tapes. Which, by the way, I have lost forever the master to the Kalamazoo one. I'm furious. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I got to ask the guy that did it for me last time, because I said, don't bake this one, because it's not that bad. And he just, made me, digitized it, because I've had that thing digitized 1,000,000 times, and I lost it, my ex-wife, last one, gone. Tons of stuff she just threw out. I'm like, what are you doing? So, whatever, just go take it to my work, and I do it there, Stick it in friggin' deck, go to Pro Tools, tweak it, bam, put out like 5 or 6 discs, give some to some friends, and da-da-da. And then I'd lose mine, and then I'd get another one, and then I'd lose mine, and I'd get another one. But I could make them as many times as I wanted. I still can, but I have to go up to my friends who doesn't even live here. He lives in Utah. Ta-da! I'm talking too much. You should cut all this out. when I put those friggin' choruses in there, I screwed with the settings on both amps, and now it doesn't sound right, does it? Because the other day it sounded great. It was almost perfect. And I actually had a couple, yeah, it sounds right on. Now it doesn't. I'm not going to sit down and do anything today. It's Saturday, and I don't feel good. I've been eating a lot, man. I lost 40 pounds. 45. I went from 262 to 230. So okay, there's 30 something, 32 pounds. Oh wait, 30, 40, a lot. And it wasn't easy, man. It was not easy. And now I am just, I don't know, kind of going through a thing, menopause. I don't know what I'm going through. Eddie the other day. He wasn't doing that. He got an echo and it's almost doubled, so it sounds like he's going ree, and then they turn it up, the harmonize, so it's like sounds like he's going ree, going as fast. But he's barely doing that. You watch it. It's the Largo, 81, I think. Look for ways to, cheat so I could play like I was playing a few years ago. I say a few years ago, but everything stopped in 2020. I can't believe it's been 4 friggin' years. So it's really been 5 years since I played guitar all the time. So I'm trying to catch up from 5 years, not like months. I don't know what I've just been buying stuff. Like, bought this in the last 5 years because it came out. Or, not, was it this? Or the other one? I can't remember. But I bought like 4 or 5 guitars. And most of them stupid. But... Just making stuff up. That one thing though was a song, an old song, called "High School Put Down." I didn't write the lyrics. This is pretty cool. That sounds 80s, and it's almost tempting to redo it. Just how we did it, because when we nailed it in the studio, and we had the same engineer that engineered Motley Crue's first, the Leather Records recording. So I'm like, dude, just my amp is modded close to sound like Mick's, make me sound like Mick, and the friggin' rhythm was boom, right on. I have my White Anniversary Marshall, amazing sounding, but the singing was so bad that it's online. Look up High School Put Down, a Valentine demo, 85 demo. I don't know what the hell it's called. High School Put Down. It's under my videos though.